Hello there, welcome in this new video on another topic of linguistics, synchronic and diachronic linguistics. These are two approaches or two ways for the analysis of language, and they are the two available temporal axes for the analysis of language which encompass all forms of human activity. The main differences between the synchronic and linguistic analysis are the points in time and the linguistic features across time. So let us explain the main difference between the two. Synchronic linguistics is the study of the linguistic features or linguistic phenomena at a given point in time. By this we mean that when we study language or when we describe language, we focus on language at one point in time. We focus on the analysis of linguistic features or a freeze frame of language, whether in the past or in the present. So in this analysis, we don't study language across time from one point to another point. For example, we can study the use of vocabularies by the Latin grammarians, and this is called synchronic analysis because we focus on the use of vocabulary by the Latin grammarians, for example, in the 17th century. So we do a synchronic analysis. We can, for example, study the use of the passivization by the elite or the politicians, and in this way, again, we are doing synchronic analysis because you focus on linguistic features at a given point in time. Again, we can study, for example, the use of obligation, speech act of obligation by the university students, and say, for example, A and B and C university. Again, we are doing synchronic linguistics. So we don't focus on language change or the development of language from one point to another point. We focus on one point in time, and we study language within that point. So when we study, for example, the syntactic structures within the Shakespearean poems, we are doing synchronic linguistics because we focus on one point in time, which is the Shakespearean poems or the 17th century poems, so on and so forth. Within synchronic linguistics, we try to understand the functioning of language at a single point in time, and we don't refer to the earlier stages or later stages of that feature. So when we study, for example, the syntactic features with the Shakespearean poems, we don't refer to the earlier stages within the 20th or the 12th or the 30th century, and we don't refer to the 20th century syntactic features. We only focus on the 17th century syntactic features. In this way, we are doing synchronic linguistics. We study language features, we describe language, we analyze and investigate language at one point in time, whether this point is in present or in the past. An example of synchronic linguistics is the analysis of, say, some dialects or spoken Englishes in London, say the Scouse, the Yorkshire, the Cockney English, and these Englishes are spoken at a given point in time, and when we study this difference between these dialects is a synchronic linguistic. We don't refer to the earlier stages of these dialects, I mean earlier points, and we don't refer to the later points in time for these dialects. We just study the differences between these dialects at one point in time. This is called synchronic linguistic or synchronic analysis. Other examples can be, for example, the study of linguistic features of the use of the first person pronoun in academia. This is synchronic analysis. The use of passive voice by politicians. This is synchronic analysis. So the synchronic analysis in the past could be, for example, the use of phrasal verse by the Latin or Old English speakers. This is again synchronic analysis. It's not historical analysis because we are doing a linguistic analysis of something old or something historical. Since we focus on one point in time, even if that point is in the past, so we are doing synchronic analysis. Say for example the use of construction in the Shakespearean sonnets. This is again a synchronic analysis, even it is in the past. So within synchronic linguistics, we don't cover, or the analysis does not cover, points extending from past to present, nor from present to past. We focus on one point, whether this point is in the past or is in the present. While in diachronic linguistics or diachronic analysis, and sometimes called historical linguistics, this involves the study of language across time or through time. So we have the perspective of studying language from past to present, so or from present to past, so looking back to earlier or from an earlier stage toward the present time, such as the study of language change. Language change is a study of diachronic linguistics or diachronic analysis, because we study linguistic features in 2 points in time, from one point up to another point, the change between one point and another point. So within the diachronic linguistics, the analysis is concerned with the phenomena or linguistic phenomena in terms of development or evolution through time or across time. In this type of analysis, we have 2 points in time. We study language across time, and of course no matter how much time the linguistic phenomenon covers. It could be days, years, or weeks. Say for example the study of the use of present verbs by college university students between November and December. This is diachronic analysis, because we study language across time from September, or say October, and November. It could be in years, for example the study of the use of vocabularies between Latin speakers and New English speakers, 17th century and the 20th century. And this is again a diachronic analysis, because we cover language, or we study language between 2 points or across time from the 17th century up to the 20th century. We need to know that since we need to study language before we can understand the change within language. I mean, we cannot understand how language changes across time without understanding language at a given point of time. It means that synchronic linguistics precedes diachronic linguistics, and we need to do synchronic analysis before we can do diachronic analysis, because we need to study language at a given point in time, and then we can understand how language changes from one point up to another point in time. So an example of diachronic analysis, say the analysis of vocabulary change between 17th century poetry and the 20th century poetry. This is called a diachronic analysis, because we cover language features. What I mean by language features is any aspect within language, any feature within language, including phonetics, phonology, syntax, semantic, morphology, and pragmatics. So this is diachronic linguistics, because we cover language change between the 17th century and the 20th century. If I say, for example, we can study the vocabulary, the use of vocabulary in the 17th century only, this is not diachronic linguistics, because we focus on one point in time. But when we say the language change of vocabulary use between the 17th century and the 20th century, this is diachronic linguistics, because we cover language features cross time between 2 points in time. Another example is the development in the use of sensational verbs by medical staff from 2019 up to 2020 in the time of the coronavirus pandemic. So here we have another diachronic example of linguistics, because we cover linguistic features which are sensational verbs used by medical staff from one point in time, 2019, up to another point in time, which is 2020. So simply, the difference between synchronic linguistics and diachronic linguistics is that within synchronic analysis we focus on language features, on language, on phonetics, phonology, semantics, syntax, pragmatics in one point in time, whether in present time or in past time. While in diachronic linguistics we cover on one aspect of language or many aspects of language, any aspect of language, across 2 points in time, from past to present or from present to past. And this is the main difference between synchronic linguistics or synchronic analysis and diachronic linguistics or diachronic analysis. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Please subscribe for coming videos. Bye for now.